Hello again, Fissels family and friends. This is the Daily Pastoral Message for Monday, August 31st. I'm coming to you again from Gettysburg. It's been a little bit wet today. Right now there's a pause in the rain, so if I have to go running to the shelter of the Pennsylvania Memorial behind me, I will. But hopefully we'll get the meditation recorded today while the rain is still holding off. The sun is trying actually to break through a bit. We'll wish that it stays dry though while I read. I'm coming to you again today from a book I read, the selection from Father Corby a week or so ago, that is called The Spirit Divided, Memoirs of Civil War Chaplains, and it's compiled and edited by Benedict R. Maryniak and John Wesley Brinsfield, Jr. Even though I've already read a selection from it, I wanted to go back to the beginning and start there and read the preface to the book, as I will be using various vignettes from the book when I record my message from Gettysburg. This selection in the preface does contain another quotation from Lincoln's second inaugural address, part of what I've already written, but this is a little bit longer and provides a little bit more context, and so be aware of that when we get to it. So, during the last 2 decades, historians have just begun to recognize religion as an important facet of the Civil War. Because neither the Confederate nor the Union War Departments had an office governing military chaplains, nearly 4,000 of them in both blue and gray were almost lost to future study. After many years of research, most of their names, assignments, and denominational affiliations have been recovered. This anthology is designed to preserve not only their names, but also their written memoirs. In an organization created to destroy the enemy, chaplains ate, drank, and slept dissidents. Older than most soldiers and looking at battle with very different eyes, chaplains had their beliefs brutally tested at the same time they instilled a faith in God and country that sustained men through adversities and tragedies. This book is a collection of letters, reports, and recollections in which Army chaplains describe their motives and methods, their failures and achievements. Some threw away their somber black uniforms and became dashing staff officers who rode over the battlefields to deliver orders, even to capture enemy soldiers. Scorning these, quote, chaplain militants, others were, in the words of a battlefield journalist, bearers of the cold cup of water and the word of good cheer. The strong regiment might be the colonel's, but the wounded brigade is the chaplain's. Chaplains were also, of course, human in every way. They wondered about God's purposes and if their ministries and the deaths of thousands might be in vain. President Abraham Lincoln summarized some of the issues they pondered in his second inaugural address, quoting, "On the occasion corresponding to this, his inauguration, 4 years ago, all thoughts were anxiously directed to an impending civil war. All dreaded it, all sought to avert it. Both parties depreciated war, but one of them would make war rather than let the nation survive, and the other would accept war rather than let it perish. And the war came. Neither party expected for the war the magnitude or the duration which it has already attained. Each looked for an easier triumph, a result less fundamental and astounding. Both read the same Bible and pray to the same God. Each invokes his aid against the other. The prayers of both could not be answered, and that of neither has been answered fully. The Almighty has his own purposes. Fondly do we hope, fervently do we pray, that this mighty scourge of war may speedily pass away. Yet if God wills that it continues until all the wealth piled by the bondsman's 250 years of unrequited toil shall be sunk, and until every drop of blood drawn with the lash shall be paid by another drawn with the sword, as it was said 3,000 years ago, so it must still be said, the judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether." Returning to these authors. The Union chaplains saw God's Spirit powerfully at work in prayer meetings and worship services and in hospitals. Yet, there were revivals on both sides of the contest. Was the Spirit divided? Could God be punishing both North and South for the national sin of slavery, as President Lincoln suggested? Or was there some other explanation for this seemingly endless war? The recollections of these men of the cloth, who were drawn from many denominations, have much to teach modern readers. They had to find, above all, the faith and perseverance to sustain the spirit of their people, their soldiers, during the greatest war ever fought on this continent. These are their stories. Benedict, Maryniak, Lancaster, New York. John W. Brinsfield, Columbia, South Carolina. And so in coming messages, I'll be sharing some of the memoirs from this book. There's also a companion book of Confederate chaplains' memoirs, as well as other resources I'm using in preparing my presentation on faith and chaplains for giving a talk at the Spangler Farm in the next tourist season. Just keeping in mind that questions of war, peace, life, and death are questions that have been the source of struggle for many people, including ministers, chaplains, throughout the years, and I'm sure we'll find similar areas of debate and conflict that the chaplains in the Civil War went through that are still active questions and conflicts of the spirit in our times. Until we talk again, please continue to pray for those on our sick and shut-in list, as well as pray for all who are affected by the coronavirus. Until we do talk on further messages and at worship next Sunday, stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong, and I know that God is continuing to bless us all. Goodbye for now.